All right, we've looked at all of the individual pieces of the critical rendering path. Now let's take a look at an end-to-end view and see how the timeline comes together.
Awesome. That's exactly what I need.
To keep things manageable, we'll use our Hello World page that has a few inline CSS styles, some text, and an image. Let's refresh to capture the full trace. Okay, let's see what's going on here. As you would expect, first we see the request go out for the HTML document. Next, we get an event showing that the server returns some response headers, followed by some data. That's our HTML. Next up, the browser begins parsing the HTML. This is where the browser is converting the received bytes to the DOM tree. And in fact, if we expand this node, you can see that our document parser finds the embedded image reference and initiates the request. Once that is done, it continues to parse the HTML, and once it gets to the end, it constructs the CSS object model. In this example, our CSS was inlined directly into the page, so there are no CSS requests. Next, the browser builds the render tree and computes all the styles for the content that should be visible on the screen. That's what this recalculate style event indicates. Once that's done, we continue to layout, which, as you now know, is where we compute the location and the size of the render tree elements. Finally, once done, we issue a paint event and our page is rendered on a screen.
You know, when we first started looking at everything, it felt really confusing, but this is actually pretty straightforward. This is pretty awesome.
Glad to hear.